Watching 6 Story at 6 with me, Akanksha Khajuria, and even as we bring you the top stories from around the world, we will put the spotlight on the plane crash tragedy and its investigation. First up, West Asia is on the boil again. We'll get you the ground report from Israel. Next, Donald Trump has issued a stark warning to Iran. Iran has hit back too. We'll tell you what the top leaders are saying. Moving on, we'll also put the spotlight on the investigation into the plane crash which killed 241 people on board. Republic TV is reporting from the ground. We'll also tell you about the new dates of the Axiom-4 launch. Only 5 days to go and all eyes are on Shubhanshu Shukla. And finally, we'll get you up to speed with the updates on the Singapore cargo ship firefighting efforts and how it is being towed away right now. Let's get started. All right, so West Asia is on the edge again. Tensions between Israel and Iran have exploded into an open retaliation. In a dramatic escalation, in fact, last night, Iran launched barrage of drones and ballistic missiles targeting Israel, a direct response to Operation Rising Lion, wherein Iran's nuclear program and top military officials were hit and killed. Now, back in Israel, the skies over Tel Aviv and Jerusalem were lit up overnight. At least 2 people have lost their lives and several more are injured as the 2 countries now stand on the brink of an all-out war. Let's, in fact, pull out the map for you and tell you how these attacks were in fact carried out by Israel first and then on from Iran to Israel. Let me in fact get you the first visuals. These are the in fact visuals of Israel. What happened last night is that Iran hit Israel at these 2 locations. These in fact are the main areas of Israel. This is Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Several buildings were damaged. What we're learning is that 2 people have lost their life and in fact several people are injured as well. I would request my team to get the second map that is of Iran. Now these are the locations where Israel hit Iran. Let me take you through them one by one. First is Tehran. This is the capital. The next one is Tabriz. Tabriz is the place which has the nuclear research center. Then we have Kermanshah. Kermanshah is where which has a missile base. After that, this is in fact the location which has the main nuclear site of Iran. Natanz is that place and Isfahan is the place which has the nuclear facility. And finally, we'll tell you about Arak, which has another nuclear complex. What we're learning is that in this attack that took place day before yesterday, as many as 9 nuclear scientists were killed and several top military officials of Iran were also decimated by Israel. Now, this completely shows that the West Asia, this region, remains to be on the edge and is on boil again. So we showed you the map of how this all-out escalation is in fact taking place as far as Iran and Israel is concerned. Firstly, the first attack was by Israel on Iran and that we saw day before yesterday when all of these nuclear facilities and also their top military leaders were hit. Several buildings were also hit by Israel as far as Iran is concerned. Yesterday, Iran hit back on Israel, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. All right, let me bring in Nick, who joins us from Tel Aviv. Nick, you've been getting our ground reports from Israel because what we're learning is that several buildings were damaged yesterday. 2 people have lost their life. Tell us what is happening on the ground right now.
Yeah, so now we are in the center of Tel Aviv. Here behind me, you can see the main headquarters of the Israeli army. And as you can see, everything is okay with these headquarters, although Iran trying to claim that it targeted, destroyed some of the army bases and the main army base, but it is false. Those are lies, and the rockets of Iran hitting peaceful neighborhoods. And actually, one of the buildings in the center of Tel Aviv, a high skyscraper with about 50 or even more floors, was damaged by direct hit of Iranian ballistic missile.
Absolutely.
And yes.
Absolutely. So you've been getting us visuals about the damage to the, in fact, the buildings there as well. Can you elaborate on where this attack took place yesterday? Because what Iran is claiming is that their military, in fact, breached the Iron Dome as well.
One of the buildings that was hit in the center of Tel Aviv, but we can't say the exact location because Israeli army understands that Iran can use this information to target more precisely next time the places that it wants to hit. That's why Israel asking journalists not to share the exact locations of those places. But I saw myself, this is a skyscraper with thousands of families that living there, and all of them were evacuated because this missile did a huge hole in this building, and the building is part of a complex of several buildings, and all of them can collapse right now. So no one can return to the building. It is a little bit like the 9/11 when you had so big holes inside of buildings that could lead for a collapse of a building. And I don't understand why Iran doing that, why they're targeting peaceful people, because it's just encourage Israel to continue its attack on Iranian strategic places and targets that Israel for many years developed a specific plan how to destroy their nuclear plan, and also how to destroy, if it's not enough, their also leadership and their economy. And the consequences for Iran could be really bad if they will continue to target civilians in Israel.
Absolutely. Keep tracking those details, Zanik. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this. Now, let's tell you about the escalation. In fact, it comes a day before the high-level talks between United States and Iran over Tehran's nuclear program. Trump has issued a stark warning, telling Iran to agree to the nuclear deal before it is left with nothing. But Iran has called the dialogue meaningless after Israel launched its biggest ever military strike against Iran, an operation Iran claimed was backed by the United States. Listen in to what the top leaders of the three countries, Iran, Israel, as well as United States, are saying.
Speak to you, the proud people of Iran. We're in the midst of one of the greatest military operations in history, Operation Rising Lion. The Islamic regime, which has oppressed you for nearly 50 years, threatens to destroy my country, the State of Israel. The objective of Israel's military operation is to remove this threat, both the nuclear threat and the ballistic missile threat to Israel. And as we achieve our objectives, we're also clearing the path for you to achieve your objective, which is freedom. In the past 24 hours, we've taken out top military commanders, senior nuclear scientists, the Islamic regime's most significant enrichment facility, and a large portion of its ballistic missile arsenal. More is on the way. The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them. The nation of Iran and the nation of Israel have been true friends since the days of Cyrus the Great. And the time has come for you to unite around your flag and your historic legacy by standing up for your freedom from an evil and oppressive regime. It has never been weaker. This is your opportunity to stand up and let your voices be heard. Woman, life, freedom. Zan, Zandegi, Azadi. As I said yesterday and many times before, Israel's fight is not with you. It's not with you, the brave people of Iran, whom we respect and admire. Our fight is with our common enemy, a murderous regime that both oppresses you and impoverishes you. Brave people of Iran, your light will defeat the darkness. I am with you. The people of Israel are with you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. عرض سلام دارم به ملت عزیز و بزرگ کشورمون. شهادت سرداران و دانشمندان عزیز که البته برای همه سنگین است و تعدادی از مردم غیر نظامی رو به ملت ایران به خانواده های اونها تبریک و تسلیت عرض میکنم. امیدواریم انشاءالله خدای متعال درجات اونها رو عالی کنه و ارواح طیبشون رو مشمول لطف ویژه خودش قرار بده. و اما مطلبی که مایل بودم با ملت عزیزمون در میان بذارم اینه که
Now let me bring in geopolitical expert Madhav Nalapat to get more perspective on this story. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. I want to ask you, how do you assess this unfolding situation in West Asia, because it is once again on the boil, and very important to mention here that this is happening a day before the crucial talks between Iran and US as far as the nuclear talks are concerned.
Those talks are going nowhere because the US under Trump is very clear. Iran must completely denuclearize, a condition that the clerical regime simply cannot accept. So the fact of the matter is that intelligence, from what I understand, has reached Israel and possibly the US as well, that Iran is just a few months away from reaching the level of enrichment beyond which it is very quickly able to enrich the fuel to nuclear criticality. So I think for Israel, it was now or never. And quite frankly, I don't believe the US is going to abandon Israel to its fate. The United States, under Trump at least, has as much an interest as Israel has in ensuring that the clerical regime does not reach criticality. In fact, and I think Netanyahu made it very clear he is opposed to the clerical regime. And he also talked about the warm friendship for stretching back thousands of years between the Iranian people and the Israeli people. Now, the fact is, Iran is against the existence of Jewish people, not just the state of Israel. So the reality is, it is an existential conflict for Israel. Netanyahu is perfectly right, and he is not going to stop until he has completely destroyed the Iranian regime's, and I repeat, the Iranian regime's nuclear facilities. He is not going to stop, and in my personal view, I don't think Donald Trump is going to shy away from helping him do that, because that is in the interest of the United States. Frankly, it's in the interest of India and other democracies as well.
Absolutely. And amid all this, all the focus will be on that crucial meeting between US and Iran tomorrow. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. Now shifting our focus to the state of Gujarat, Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu today expressed shock over the Air India flight crash and announced a 3-month timeline to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the accident. Now, he also said that how such plane crashes can be avoided in future will also be deliberated upon. The minister also shared a crucial update about the recovery of the black box, which he said would provide an in-depth insight into what actually happened during the process of the air crash. And in fact, the moments before the crash as well. Listen in to what he said, and then we'll get you the ground report as well.
Seriousness of the incident. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which was formed specifically to look into the accidents that happen around aircrafts, was immediately mobilized, and the GO team from the AIB, including 5 members constituting DG AIB, was also immediately rushed to the site to start the investigation process. And since day one, within hours itself, the AIB has started its process of investigation. And yesterday, they have added 2 more members to the investigation, one from the forensics team, one from the medical team. And they would be doing it in future also as necessary. Whichever expert is required, they will be adding them to the investigation. And one important update from the technical investigation, which is happening through the AIB, is the recovery of the black box yesterday around 5 p.m. from the site. The AIB team believes that this decoding of the black box is going to give a in-depth insight into what would have actually happened during the process of the crash or moments before the crash itself. So we are also eagerly waiting for what the results or the report is going to be once the AIB goes through its full investigation. Taking utmost seriousness of the incident and to further investigate into the incident and to look into all the theories or other information that is going around this incident, we felt it would be much better to have another committee also overlooking into this crash and also the safety. So yesterday I've announced it before only that we are going to form another high-level committee before. And immediately we have constituted the committee also yesterday under the chairmanship of Home Secretary. And like our initial thought, we wanted to have experts in the committee from various sectors and not less than any joint secretary level. So accordingly, we have constituted the committee. We have circulated the order also of the high-level committee which is going to investigate this crash. So like I said, the Home Secretary is going to be the chairman of the committee. Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Additional Secretary from MHA, one representative from the state of Gujarat where the incident actually happened, representative from State Disaster Response Authority, Government of Gujarat, Police Commissioner Ahmedabad, DG Inspection and Safety from the Indian Air Force, DG BCAS, which is the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, DG DGCA, Special Director from IB, and Director from the Directorate of Forensic Sciences Services. So like you see, the composition of the high-level committee involves people from various backgrounds, and the people we feel who can bring in a lot of expertise and value to the committee which is going to investigate in a holistic way into the incident.
And now let me go across to my colleague Akhil, who joins us from the crash site. Akhil, you've been getting us a lot of reports from the ground. Black box has been recovered. Committee has been constituted as well. Tell us about the investigation and how multiple agencies are inspecting and investigating this matter.
Well, absolutely. If you see, a 5-member committee has already been formed with regard to the investigation. Earlier, what we have seen that this very morning, the AAIB team, aircraft investigation team that is basically investigating the entire incident has arrived over here. There was a 3-member team which has arrived at around 9:30 a.m. this very morning, and after that, what we have seen that not only this very team. If you see the Ahmedabad police team, and apart from that, the NDRF team is also being part of the investigation, because the investigation is at a preliminary stage, and what we have been learning that it's not a one agency investigation, it's a multidisciplinary agency investigation. So each unit is going to give their report, and then final culminated report will be given by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So at this point in time, earlier we have questioned the AAIB investigative bureau officials as well, and on that regard they have said that we have collected the black box from the NDRF team, because the NDRF team was doing the ground operational work, and they have collected that black box. And if you see the visuals of that black box from outside, it has got affected, but from the inside it's in its natural shape. So right now what we have got to know that from the AIB sources that the black box will only be revealing most of the details, that at what altitude and what velocity and what momentum point when the aircraft basically lost control with the ATC. So that is going to be the very critical juncture that will give us a detailed analysis, and the entire process will be decoded by the AIB. Back to you.
Absolutely. So this black box has been recovered and in-depth analysis, in fact, will be taken out to find out what actually went wrong. Keep tracking those details, Aki. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this. Now shifting our focus, in fact, it was supposed to be a quiet homecoming, a surprise visit, a fresh start and a long overdue reunion. But for Harshit and Pooja Patel, what began as a journey of hope ended in a heartbreak. One of the many stories from that fateful flight, seat number 20H and 20J, and the dreams that never made it home. Watch this report.
The Air India crash has shattered countless families. Among them, the story of Harshit and Pooja Patel, a young couple who had returned to India with hope in their hearts and healing on their minds. They landed in India on June 2nd, seated on 20H and 20J. It was meant to be a short trip, a doctor's consultation, and a surprise visit for Harshit's father, who had no idea they were coming.
2 साल के बाद आया था, सरप्राइज दिया उसको। उसकी वाइफ को प्रेगनेंसी थी तो मिसकैरेज वहाँ हो गई थी, तो उसकी तकलीफ हो जाती थी, तो मेडिकल के लिए इधर आया था। 10 दिन के लिए ही आया, 12 तारीख की उसकी रिटर्न टिकट थी।
Harshit's father had been living alone since losing his wife to cancer 6 years ago. This visit was different. This time, his son had convinced him to start over to move abroad and live with them. The passport was ready. The tickets were booked. The loneliness of years was finally beginning to lift. Now, only shock remains and despair. Harshit's father waits at Ahmedabad Civil Hospital, hoping for closure.
और उसकी वाइफ दोनों प्लेन में थे 12 तारीख को। बॉडी के लिए दोनों की बॉडी यादी मिली है मेरे को, और उसमें दोनों का नाम है, मेरे लड़के का उसकी वाइफ का। अभी बॉडी का कुछ मिलता नहीं है। डीएनए करवा दिया है मैंने 12 तारीख को ही। डीएनए कसौटी भवन में ये हो गया है, तो इधर आए हम। 72 आवर्स बोल रहे हैं। हाँ, फोन आएगा।
Their future, once filled with dreams and plans, now lies in ruins. People who were full of life just days ago now lie in a cold mortuary.
Now moving on, the Indian Space Research Organisation has confirmed a new launch date for the Axiom-4 mission, scheduled to lift off on June 19. The mission will carry Indian astronaut group captain Shubhanshu Shukla and 3 other crew members to the International Space Station. Now initially set for June 11th, the mission was delayed due to a liquid oxygen leak in the Falcon 9 launch vehicle. Now, with this issue resolved, Shukla is set to become only the second Indian national to travel to space since 1984. Watch this report.
Days after the Axiom-4 mission was postponed indefinitely, ISRO has confirmed a new launch window. The mission will now take off on June 19. Aboard this historic mission is Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, a serving Indian Air Force pilot and India's newest astronaut. He will travel alongside 3 international crewmates to the International Space Station. The liftoff will take place from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, on board SpaceX's trusted Falcon 9 rocket. The announcement comes after a critical review meeting between ISRO, SpaceX and Axiom Space, during which engineers confirmed that the liquid oxygen leak in Falcon 9 has been fully resolved. For Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, this mission is a personal and national milestone. Once launched, he will become only the second Indian national to travel into space after Rakesh Sharma's iconic mission in 1984. The Axiom-4 mission is a pivotal step in India's journey towards its own human spaceflight program, with Shukla's participation marking India's global footprint in space collaboration. A proud moment not just for ISRO but for every Indian. The countdown to history has just begun.
Now shifting our focus to the coast of Kerala, a fiery container ship, rough seas and a daring Navy rescue. In a high-risk mission off Kochi, the Indian Navy pulled off an aerial insertion to prevent a major disaster. The firefighting operation have concluded and towing operation has started. Here is in fact how it all unfolded.
A massive seeking helicopter lifts off from INS Garuda in Kochi. Aboard it, a highly trained salvage team rushing into the heart of the disaster. The flaming container ship MV 503 lies in turbulent waters. Billowing black smoke, its structure scorched and split in multiple sections. With the ship still on fire, the salvage team is winched down. Precision operation executed in rough sea and wind conditions. They land on a narrow, heat-warped deck, risking their lives for a salvage connection. The team swiftly connects a tow line to salvage tug Offshore Warrior, a vital step to begin moving the crippled vessel to safety. With the job done, the salvage team is hoisted back into the chopper. Smoke continues to choke the air, but the mission is a successful one. Now INS Sharda and MV Triton Liberty work round the clock, alongside the Coast Guard, to stabilize the situation and prevent a large maritime disaster. The Coast Guard and multiple maritime agencies responded promptly, launching a complex rescue and salvage operation which culminated in this daring aerial insertion.
This is all we could pack in this bulletin for you. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories at 6 o'clock. Keep watching Republic TV.